Hello everybody, and welcome to a Modern Cube video. This format is just out. This is my first draft back. I have not played this format in well over a year, so I'm a little rusty, but excited to see how it goes, and pretty good start. We got a Ragavan. I have to think this is among the best cards in the format. There are more cheap removal spells in this format, like Searing Blaze, than in Vintage Cube, so it actually might be worse in this format than in Vintage Cube, but it's still a great card, so I'll pretty happily take that. This could go in any number of decks, mono red, like blue red, tempo. There's Fire Ice if we wanted to do tempo. Also Burst Lightning and Sacred Foundry. My memory of this format is that it's fairly dependent on Planeswalkers. There's a lot of Planeswalkers and a lot of cards like Maelstrom Pulse that can kill Planeswalkers are really good. Alternatively, having early pressure is good to get creatures on the board to pressure the Planeswalkers. I think we just take the Burst Lightning here. Fire Ice is better if we're playing blue-red, but unlike in Vintage Cube, blue is not ridiculously overpowered in this format. Maybe it is the best color, I don't really know, but there's no Ancestral Recall, Time Walk level cards that are just massive outliers that make you want to play blue. Yeah, I'll take a Burst Lightning. Interesting. Okay, here we have Inferno Titan and Zealous Conscript as red cards, which are both really good. Nissa, Who Shakes the World, is also very powerful. Restoration Angel is potentially good. Wormcoil is really good in some situations. I think I'll take the Conscripts, though. This is interesting because it's an infinite combo with Splinter Twin, so it opens that door. And it also is really good in a Planeswalker-centric format. I might be remembering that wrong, and they also might have changed how Planeswalker-centric it is, but this is really good if you can steal their Walker and then ultimate it. And it's also just a good curve topper in a semi-aggressive deck. So I think we will take the Conscripts here over the Inferno Titan, although it's kind of close. Okay, well, red is looking open. Smuggler's Copter is great, but Chandra Dress to Kill is very good, especially if we are mono red, which is looking possible now. This is card draw, it deals damage, it makes mana, just really does everything you want it to be doing. So I think I'm leaning towards just taking that here. Also helps us to cut red. Reckless Impulse is fine, and then this might be a Mind Stone deck. And like I said, Copter is amazing. Somewhat late Fact or Fiction, but yeah, let's just take the Chandra Dress to Kill. Okay, another red Planeswalker. I like that a lot. So this can draw cards. It can make 1/1s with Prowess. Okay, it can kill their creatures, and then the ultimate should be able to win, but not too worried about that. Yeah, I'll take that. There's another situation where, if we want to be hyper-aggressive, we could take the Figure of Destiny, but I don't think I'm necessarily in for that. Our deck is set up well to be a more mid-rangey deck, and in Vintage Cube, my take on mono red is basically that you want it to be as aggressive as possible. You'll never, ever be able to outgrind other decks, but here, if we're just playing, you actually can outgrind people if you have good grindy cards like this. So I think Jaya is the pick here over Figure of Destiny. Close pick, though. Okay. So first card where we're not getting a Slam Dunk red card, or first pack. Bergie is okay, but not exciting. Let's see. This card is good for a creature. Yeah, that's not really what we're doing. Dreadbore is good, but I think we just take Savai Triome here. This helps a lot with the mana. It lets us splash black or white, or potentially both. If we're playing... Dreadbore is really good in this format. And black looks pretty open, but this would help us to fix. This is really close. I think I'm actually going to take the Dreadbore, though. I want Triome, and I do want fixing in general, but I think Dreadbore is so good that it's worth, it's one of the cards we would be wanting to splash for. Ooh, there's a Kolaghan's Command. Also, Den of the Bugbear. And Phoenix of Ash is good, too, but I think I'll take the K Command. Yeah, that card is really strong. Okay, first pack that's mostly a brick for us. Experimental Frenzy is interesting. I guess we could take it. Jetmir's Garden does not help us. A lot of green and white here. Carrion Feeder is not really where we want to be. I guess I'll take the Experimental Frenzy. Okay. I'll take the Chupacabra. Like, we could try and pivot towards white, but we have some really good black cards already. So I think I'll stay the course here. I'm going to take the Siege Gang. With Chandra Dress to Kill, we're incentivized to be as heavy red as we can be. So this is looking like a pretty good start. Our curve is a bit high, so I would like some more cheap interaction. That could be in the form of cheap burn spells, and then also I would certainly love Thoughtseize effects if we're playing black. I think Torok's a bit hard to cast. So, I mean, the front half isn't, but kicking it for triple black is hard. Let's take the Titan. We're probably not playing this Ravenous Chupacabra. Just playing, like, mostly mono red, splashing black for a couple nice removal spells. I like the look of this deck a lot. Okay, Reckless Impulse. Jadar is interesting, but this is pretty good card draw. It's better the lower your curve is. So if you're trying to play this on turn 2 or 3 and then you flip an Inferno Titan, that's bad. But I think it's still a pretty solid pickup. This is a color combination that doesn't have the best card draw. I'll take a Tidehollow Sculler. Red is open, but we're not the only red drafter, so we're not getting like last pick stuff in our colors. But still, I think this is a really good start. Interesting. I think we take the Village Rites here. It's not making the cut yet, but it could get there. Like, it's great with Siege Gang Commander, and if we got like Kroxa, maybe Fury, there are various things that make this quite strong. The mana is also a little dicey. I mean, we could just be mono red. We only have these 2 black cards. What is this? Sacrifice an artifact or creature, draw 2 cards, and create a treasure. Okay, so another similar thing to Village Rites. Interesting. Okay. Well, Expressive Iteration is the best card for us. This card is just amazing, but I don't think we want to be playing blue. Obosh is interesting, but we're not going to be... we can't make it the companion, at least. We could take Banefire. I think I'm just going to take Soulscar Mage. I guess, so Unearth isn't that good yet. It's good with, like, Seasoned Pyromancer, but we don't have that. Scrappy Scrounger is interesting, but yeah, I'll just take the Soulscar Mage. This is a nice card where it helps us to keep the curve down a little bit, and it's actually pretty good in mid-rangey decks, too. It gets cheap and it pressures the opponent's life total, but it can also help you to take out big creatures. Like, if they just play Dragonlord Atarka, and then you can, like, you know, shoot it with Inferno Titan and just permanently shrink it. That actually is pretty nice. Yeah, not a super exciting first pick. Obviously much worse than Ragavan, but I'll take it. Oh, interesting. Inquisition is good. I don't think we need Blasting Station. Dark Confidant's quite good, but I think I'm going to take the Fable of the Mirror Breaker here. This card is very, very strong. It's a form of card draw, card advantage, pressures the opponent, but also grinds. Yeah, that seems great. If we had perfect mana, I might take the Inquisition, but we might not even be playing black, so we'll take the card that we know we can cast. Now we can take... On-Crop Crasher is not really the kind of card this deck is looking for. We're looking a bit more mid-rangey than this. It's still not bad, but it's not thrilling. I like Keranos a lot, but it's a bit hard to cast. I think I'm just going to take the Gruul Turf here. Probably not playing green, but this is still a good land. If you're absolutely all-in aggro, it being tapped can be a real downside, but this is looking not like that sort of deck. So, yeah, I'll take the Gruul Turf. Okay, now we get, I think, just the Piankier Nalar. Liliana Dreadhorde Arcanist is solid, or Dreadhorde General, but I think we still want to take the Pia here. Yeah, let's go with that. Okay, interesting. Now we have Chandra, Acolyte of Flame, Boros Reckoner, and Zaitor's Proving Ground, which would be fixing. I think we take the Chandra, though. This card's great. We have 3 red Planeswalkers right now. And it also lets us flashback instants and sorceries that cost 3 or less, which is pretty nice here. Like, Kolaghan's Command is incredible with that. Dreadbore, Reckless Impulse, also good. So, yeah, we'll take the Chandra. And then maybe Boros Reckoner will wheel. All right, looking more and more like we'll be mono red. I would love to be able to play these cards, but I'm not going to spend high picks on it. and therefore we might not be able to get there. We'll see though. Curve is still a little high, so I would like a few more cheap cards. Okay, Terror of the Peaks doesn't look amazing. Shadow Spear is kind of interesting, but I think we just want to take Mizzy Mortars. This is a good removal, and it helps us to keep our curve down. What do we want here? A couple interesting options. Ugin is very powerful in really long games. These black cards are both okay. And then Johnny is pretty nice if we're playing white, but I don't think we're that likely to play white. I think I'm going to speculate on the Ugin. Yeah, we'll just take this. I don't think I'm playing it, but we can bring it in certain matchups. Okay, late Crater Hoof. There's a Needle Spires if we took the Ajani, but we didn't. I think I'm just going to take... Actually, risk factor seems kind of bad here. I will take it, but not plan on playing it. It's just only good if your opponent is... If you're, like, on the aggressive, which we're not really doing. Alright, so if we're playing Mono Red, then Mutavault's a really good pickup. We could take the Banefire, but I think Mutavault's going to be a little bit better for us here. Yeah, let's take that. Now there's Blasting Station, which is not that good. Like, yeah, we don't have a lot of creature sacrifice synergies. Let's take a Lightning Helix, speculatively. Then there's a Nahiri. Okay, no, like, super late pickups, but that's fine. Actually, we might need to splat. We might not be able to play Mono Red. Which makes the Mutavault pick look a little worse. And in that case, I think black is still our best splash, even though we don't have like any fixing for it right now. We'll see what Pack 3 brings. I don't really... Oh, that's actually a really good last pick. That's a card we might... Like, if we play black, we will play this card. I don't have a great barometer for the power level of this format, so I don't really know how good this deck is. I think it's decent, but it does need a little bit of help. All right, Pack 3. What do we have here? Love me some Teferi action, but that is not what we're doing here. Not the best pack. We could take Zurgo if we want to be a little bit more aggressive. It's pretty bad in the mid and late game, though. But what else are we taking? Like, I guess... So if we're being more mid-range, we could take Everflowing Chalice. That seems reasonable, actually. This is just not really a Zurgo deck. We need more of a critical mass of aggressive creatures for that. Yeah, we'll take the Everflowing Chalice. Ramping into some of these Planeswalkers seems pretty good. Now I'll take the Dragon Skull Summit. That's... Oh, actually, never mind. I want Dragon Skull Summit, but we can't really pass Seasoned Pyromancer. That's, like, the best card we could get here. Mihawk Massacre is interesting, but... Yeah, let's take the Pyro. Okay. Now we have Squee versus Bedlam Reveler. I think Squee is kind of sweet. Yeah, this is good. This is better than Woe Rider, and it fills a similar role. Let's just use our graveyard well. Interesting. So, this gives our creatures haste, which is nice. There's also Legion Warboss. Close pick. Also Wooded Foothills, but that doesn't really help us. We don't have any fetchable lands. Legion Warboss, or Rabbit Battery. How good is the Rabbit Battery? It's really good with Inferno Titan, but it's not that amazing with a lot of our other creatures. Yeah, I think I like the Warboss a bit better here, although it's close. Like, Conscript already has haste. Siege Gang with haste is not that much better. Pia is not that much better. Squee already has haste. Pyromancer is not that much better. Fable's a little bit better, I guess. But yeah, I think the Warboss is going to be better here. Interesting. There's the Goblin Guide. So I'll take that speculatively. I don't think we're going to play it in the main deck. That's just not really the style of deck that we have here, but it's an option. Okay, Lava Dart versus Milliken. Let's take the Lava Dart. Really good sideboard card. Okay, so I'm leaning toward just going mono red here for the consistency. This would be a probably 17 land deck. So we need 5 more spells. We could main deck some of these things, but hopefully we don't need to. There's a Xander's Lounge, which does make the black splash a little better, but still, that would be our only piece of black fixing. We didn't even take the Dragon Skull Summit. Yeah, I think I'm taking the Earthshaker Ken right here and just going for the mono red plan. And this is a card that I'm happy with. It scales well in the late game, and it also is good early. Now we can take a Young Pyromancer, pretty solid pickup. Zergo Wield, that's kind of sweet. Alright, this is coming together nicely. So we're mono red, we're semi-aggressive, but with the ability to grind too. Our curve is not super low. Everflowing Chalice might not end up making the cut. We ended up with more 3s than 4s. Risk factor is like, basically hits them for 8. It deals a lot of damage, but I don't know. We'll see. If Goblin Guide wheels, then risk factor looks good. If it doesn't, then it might be a little bit less good. Okay, we'll take a Viscera Seer. Don't think we're playing it, though. Flay Essence. All right, if we don't get any wheels here, then we are going to need to splash black. Oh, nice. Rabbit Battery came around. All right. That's good. So we could play like this with 17 lands and just play like 3 mountains or 3 swamps. All right, not playing any of these last picks. That's fine. Milliken, kind of funny, but probably not good enough. Last pick, Dolly. Okay. Okay, I think this is a good way to build it. If we play 4 swamps, that would be 12 red sources, which seems fine. It does mean that there will be some games potentially where we aren't able to play Ragavan on turn 1, which is pretty bad. Whoa. 3 swamps for Dreadborg, Hologon's Command. We have no other fixing except for Ragavan making treasure tokens. But these are also cards that we don't need to play on curve. Yeah, I think this should be fine. Okay, we'll run it like this. Mono red, essentially mid-range. Should be kind of sweet. Oh, wait, we have a Goblin Guide on the board. Oh, okay. In that case, maybe we can afford to go a little bit more streamlined and play this, at least in the main deck. So this is one option. Yeah, I think this is probably a little bit better. The fixing is just so bad. We kind of needed to pick a lane. We could have aggressively taken the black fixing every time we got a chance and passed up on really good red cards like Seasoned Pyromancer. But we didn't do that, and so I think we need to just accept that our mana is too bad for that splash and run it like this. Alright, this deck seems pretty sweet. A little bit more aggressive now, but still with the ability to grind and push through damage in the late game. I'll submit like this and see you in round 1. Alright, we have our opponent for round 1. We lost the die roll to S2K. Oh, I'll pop my face up here for y'all. Alright, sweet hand. We can definitely keep this. Turn 1 Ragavan. Inferno Titan in the opener is not really what you want, but we can probably just discard that to Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Playing against another red deck. Okay, Goblin Guide is scary. Revealing a Goblin Guide of our own. I think I'm still playing Ragavan on 1. If they kill it, that's too bad, but if they don't kill it, then they can't really attack with their Goblin Guide. We need to decide if we want to try and race them or play a long game. They just pass, okay. So let's go land Pyromancer, pass back. I don't see that much value in just trading off our Ragavan for their Goblin Guide. Ragavan is the better card. Boros Reckoner, that's a little scary. So let's get our Fable down. And pass turn. Boros Reckoner is really good in this matchup. Oh, Koth is too. Okay, we're definitely behind here. If we were on the play, we would be in a great position. But on the draw, it could be tough. All right, so we're going to take this 4. And how do we want to do this? We're going to discard Goblin Guide, Inferno Titan. Draw some lands, all right. I think we needed to get this Boros Reckoner off the board and pressure them. So we're going to go Jaya. We're going to kill the Reckoner, which doesn't feel good. But this way, because they're going to get to 2 for 1, if they're going to get to kill something with the Reckoner, but that's fine. We'll send everything at the Koth. This kills their Reckoner. And then they can use the Reckoner to kill one of our things. Maybe our Jaya. Maybe one of our attackers. Okay, they kill the Ragavan, and they're probably going to block one of the things. Yeah, so Koth goes to 2. Now they can kill our Jaya on the backswing. But we still have some more action in our hand. It really depends on what they have. Like, we have a pretty good hand, but they can kill our Planeswalker, and if they can do that while also adding something really relevant to the board, that's bad. Just animating down the Bugbear is great news for us. They can hit us for 8, which is a lot of damage. Actually, they probably need to kill the Jaya, so they're going to hit us for 5. And then we can kill their Koth on the backswing by using our Chandra. So we take a pretty big hit, but they didn't add anything to the board. Earthshaker Kenra is an okay draw, but not amazing. So we can play Chandra and Pia and Karen Alar. That seems really good. So we'll cast this. Make some 1/1s. Send 1 at Koth, 1 at them, and then this at Koth. So that'll kill their Planeswalker. We also get another treasure, which is useful because that will let us play our 4-drop. All right, P and Kieran, and we'll pass. And now we have a pretty solid board presence compared to them. Our life total is a lot lower, but we're not really in burn range. They could theoretically burn us out if they have like Banefire plus some bolts, but I think we're in a very good position now. Now time to start turning the corner and trying to close out the game. Goblin Rabblemaster is quite weak here. Then they have a Fable of their own that's medium. So they have to send both goblins, which means we can kill both goblins. That's good for us. All right, we'll untap. Rule Turf was not what we were looking for. It's very unfortunate that we haven't found a single burn spell yet. Interesting situation. So we can use the Pia and Kieran Lar to kill one of their things. Yeah, all right, this is what we should do. We're going to make a copy of this Goblin Shaman. Make 2 1/1s. We'll play the Gruul Turf just because we can. And bounce this mountain back to our hand. Go to combat and swing with everything. Or do we want to leave back like Pia? Yeah, we'll leave back Pia to trade with the Den of the Bugbear if they go for that attack. Then we make 2 treasure tokens, and we can sack both of our flying Thopters to kill both of their creatures. I think that is probably worth it here. Then they would take 2, 4, 6, and have no board. Yeah, let's do that. Huh, they conceded. That seemed like an early concession, but I'll take it. We're up a game in round 1. All right, playing against the Mono Red Mirror. We don't have much of a sideboard unless we want to add a color. Lightning Helix would be really nice if we could play it. So would Faith's Fetters. So that's an option, but we don't have any white fixing. I don't think we want to do that. It's kind of close, but yeah, I don't think that's worth it. Let's cut. No, we'll even keep Goblin Guide. I think we just run back the main deck on the draw. Yeah, we'll run back the main deck. All right. Once again, this is a very similar opener to our last round. We have Inferno Titan, Ragavan, and Goblin Guide. Ragavan is better when you can back it up with removal. Beaumont Courier, okay. I think this might be a situation where we play Beaumont Courier pass. I mean, Goblin Guide pass. Not a common line, but I think that is worth it here. Experiencing a little bit of lag. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, if they have a burn spell for the Goblin Guide, so be it. But I would like to be able to hold back the Beaumont Courier if possible. Okay, they're just playing out a bunch of dudes. No attacks. I think I'm just going to offer to trade Ragavan with one of these guys. I don't think Ragavan's going to get better than this. And all 3 of these can give much more value over the course of a long game. So we'll see which one they want to lose. Probably the rabbit thing. They definitely can't take it, yeah. So they make this trade, that's fine. And we pass. There's the Reckoner, fair enough. Still no attacks, though. So our life total's high. We draw Zealous Conscripts, which is not very good here. Let's discard Conscripts plus Mountain, I think. I do want to hit more land drops, but we're likely to draw some naturally, although we don't draw one there. Drawing Burst Lightning to kill the Grim Lavamancer is nice. Unlicensed Hearse. That's kind of interesting. That'll become really big. They just passed, though. So we need to hit some land drops. We draw yet another 4-drop. That's actually really bad. Yeah. Regretting discarding that land, of course. I mean, we didn't know we were going to draw 3 consecutive expensive spells. We don't even have that many cards that cost more than 3 on our deck, but we got max punished. I really wish this Inferno Titan was a land. I think I'm just going to Burst Lightning this Lava Mancer in response. Don't want to deal with it, just like killing anything annoyingly. We're pretty behind though. I think this Unlicensed Hearse is probably going to be, I guess we can chump block it forever. And we have a lot of good chump blockers in our deck, but we desperately need to hit lands or non-4 drops. We have very few cards in our deck that we can't play, but if we draw more, that will be bad. They just pass again, so they're giving us time. We draw Rabbit Battery, one of the worst cards we could have drawn. I guess, yeah, just play it and pass. Incredibly punished for discarding that 1 mountain. Yep, they take out our 2 other cards. It doesn't really matter. This game is just entirely going to be won or lost depending on when we hit our land drops. Mizzium Mortars. I don't think it's worth it to play that now. We could, yeah, just killing the Boros Reckoner doesn't seem amazing, and the other creatures aren't really scary. But this is just brutal. I hate Mana Screw, and this is like partially self-inflicted Mana Screw, but still does not feel very good. Just sitting here with a handful of cards we can't cast. Alright, so they play their Jaya. I'm not going to concede yet, but we're getting very close to concession territory. They make a 1-1 with Prowess. Through the Hearse and then swing. Alright, so let's block here, and then just I'll concede if I don't draw the land this turn. Like, they have a 6/6 that we can't really interact with. Okay, we do draw the land, so that's really helpful. We can play P and Kiran Lar if we want to. Yeah, I think that is the line. Get some flyers down. This can pressure their Jaya. I don't think I... let's close out of this. Alright, opponent uses Jaya to draw some cards. Collective Defiance, okay. So they play this to kill our P and Kiran Lar and hit us for 3. Our board is dwindling. Our electrical is still kind of high, though. But we have no way to pressure their Jaya at the moment. We can play our own Jaya to dig for more lands, and if we can get to Inferno Titan, that'll swing the game pretty quickly. But the question is, can we live that long? They crew the Hearse again. We're going to need to chump block this. I think I'm going to throw the Goblin Guide under the bus here. Don't really want to give them lands. We're not attacking on the ground very easily. And the Thopters can actually be useful for pressuring the Jaya. So let's draw, hoping to just hit some more land drops. Nice. Okay, let's play a 1/1 with Prowess. Or play Jaya to make a 1/1 with Prowess. And then we can equip the Rabbit Battery to one of our Thopters and hit the Jaya down to 1. That's going to mean we don't have many blockers, so they can have a pretty good swing on the backswing. Is it worth it to pressure the Jaya that way? I think it is. Could also just, like, snipe their Beaumont Courier or something. But I think having 1/1 blockers is valuable when they have, like, an unlicensed hearse that we want to be blocking every turn if we can. So let's configure this here. Now, of course, if we could give Inferno Titan haste and attack with it the turn we play it, that looks really good. So that's what we're hoping for. That would require us to hit 2 more land drops. Hit Jaya and hit Jaya. And we'll pass back. So if they have a burn spell in hand, we're going to be in rough shape. But if they're just holding bricks, which is possible, then our hand is good. Like, we can outgrind it. 1 more land drop and we could overload Mizium Mortars. Then Boros Reckoner would hit something for 4. But we could pressure the Jaya really well. We'll see. This is a big turn. If they just do what they've been doing, like plus Jaya, make a dude, crew hearse, and just swing and pass, that's very slow. And I think we can overpower that. Hopefully we get to untap with Jaya, and that would give us an almost guaranteed chance of hitting another land. Okay, Koth is actually not that bad for us here, because we're hoping to overload Mizium Mortars to kill their creatures, and then we can pressure their Planeswalkers pretty effectively. They need to swing out here, though. They've been playing incredibly conservatively for almost no reason. They could have won easily, I think, if they hadn't been doing that. But we'll see if they learn their lesson here and just alpha swing. So they might just swing with Mountain and Hearse, which is what we want. Okay, no, they're swinging with a Monk. Yeah, they found the line. Finally, they're realizing they can't just keep on giving us draw steps. So Monk and Mentor coming at Jaya. Unlicensed Hearse also coming at Jaya. No, okay, these 3 there. These 4 there. Okay, so they're really trying to kill our Jaya. That makes sense. We could keep our Jaya alive if we chump blocked twice. Okay, so it's... Wait, is everything going at Jaya? Oh, no. Hearse at us, everything else at Jaya. So if we block, we untap with Jaya. Then we would only have 3 points of power on the board. But that would give us a much better chance of being able to hit a land drop. But I think we need to just bank on top decking a land. Because if we take 6 from the unlicensed Hearse, I think we're in a pretty bad position. So I'm just going to block like this and then hope to naturally draw land. And I think we can basically concede if we don't draw land. We need to overload Mizium Mortars this turn. Yeah, we just need to find land into land. Earthshaker Kenra. Okay, do we concede to this? Maybe not. We can make it so their Beaumont Courier can't block and kill both of their Planeswalkers. and leave back 1 chump blocker. All right. Don't love it, but we're not dead. And I'm still going to hold the Mizzium Mortars because I really want to be able to overload that. So your Beaumont Courier can't block. Then let's go kill Jaya, Koth, Koth. Then we'll reconfigure this here. Actually, no, let's just unattach this and have an extra chump blocker. And then we pass and take a big hit and then top deck a land. That is our game plan here. If they animate Den of the Bugbear and then attack us with everything. Fable of the Mirror Breaker, okay. That's not that bad. I mean, the prowess triggers are kind of annoying. It does mean they can push more damage this turn. But again, I think it's just going to come down to whether or not we can draw the land. This Inferno Titan has been in our hand since the opening. If this was that land, like we could have just discarded this to the Seasoned Pyromancer, had one more dude in play, and we'd be in a much better position. So if we chump block the Hearse, we take 6, 7, plus 3, 10. I think that's the line. We need to keep all our blockers back. Or we need to keep creatures around to block the Hearse and the Den of the Bugbear. And then we are absolutely... Oh, we drew the land. Okay. Okay, this is not over now. Let's overload the Mizzium Mortars. Sweep their board. They're going to get to shoot 4 damage somewhere with the Boros Reckoner. They might just be able to kill us. I mean, they could put us to 2 and then potentially burn us out if they have much burn. But I think we can win the resource battle here if it becomes that sort of game. I think we were a turn or two too late with the Mizzium Mortars, but it's possible we could hang on to this one. They do shoot us, which is bad. That means they are likely to have a burn spell. Let's hit them for 2 and leave back 3 blockers. And now it's their turn, and we just see if they have the burn spell. They get a lot of looks. They can discard 2 cards if they don't have a burn spell yet. And we have no way to combat it if they do have the burn spell. Okay, they discard Mountain. We have a flyer back, so a dragon with haste would maybe not kill us. Really hoping they just animate the Den of the Bugbear and swing. Eidolon of the Great Revel. Okay, that's not actually bad. Our hand is expensive. Then they crew. Do they animate the den as well? Okay. So let's block here. Jump block here. And go to 1. And then if we draw land, we can play Inferno Titan and give it haste. And then we are in a pretty interesting position. We might be able to actually race. We did not draw the land. So we can't give it haste. That's pretty bad. But we still get to play the Titan. And kill both of their dudes. And then they basically need to top deck this turn, because if we get to attack with a Inferno Titan, we're in a really good position. We definitely want to kill all their creatures. We want to make it as hard as possible to crew their unlicensed hearse. I think I will attack for 2 here. Well, let's see. Next turn, we could potentially hit them for 15, 16. We could maybe kill them next turn. The Inferno Titan swings for 9 on its own. We can pump at 6. Yeah, the Inferno Titan becomes a lethal attacker on its own if the Seasoned Pyromancer connects, and I think that's worth it. If they are somehow able to attack us with 3 creatures this turn, we'll lose, but that's not that likely. I think we need to be aggressive here. We can't give them too many top decks when we're at 1. If we had drawn the land there, we would have been in a great position because we could use the Rabbit Battery to attack with Inferno Titan. Okay, it looks like they have Rabble Master. Oh no, they did actually have Rabble Master plus Goblin Guide. All right, so we die. That's too bad. But we were on the back foot for most of that game. Almost able to turn the corner, but not quite. But now we get to go first. And after this, I will restart the client because I'm having some pretty tough lag. Do we want to make any changes here on the play? I think I'm going to cut Risk Factor for another land. Risk Factor just doesn't seem that good. It deals damage, but I think we want cards that play to the board. Like, you want Risk Factor against control decks, where burning them out is pretty important. But here, it's more about leveraging board presence. All right, turn 1 Ragavan, 3 games in a row. We also finally have a burn spell. That is pretty nice. So if their plan is just to go Goblin Guide block, that won't go well for them. So Mountain, Goblin Guide, or Ragavan. Beaumont Courier, and then they leave it back on defense, presumably. Oh man, this is some pretty bad lag. So let's go land, and then we'll Burst Lightning the Beaumont Courier to start. And then we'll hit them and see what we draw. We could potentially hit something off out of their deck that we want to play, which would be sweet. Otherwise, we can just develop our own board with some of these 1-drops. Mountain, okay. Kind of interesting between playing both things or only one. I think I'm going to save the treasure, though, because I would love to be able to play one of these other things next turn. So let's lead on Soulscar Mage, because Zurgo can have haste. And then next turn, if we draw land, we can play Jaya. And if we don't draw land, we can play Squee. And either way, we can get a nice attack in and pressure them. Oof, all right. Searing Blaze on a Ragavan is worst case scenario, but we're still in a pretty good spot, especially if we draw a land. Earthshaker Kenra was a very bad draw, but it is what it is. We're going to play our Squee. Now we're a long way away from playing the Jaya. I'm glad we brought in the land, certainly. But we did not draw it. So we'll attack with both. Squee makes a dude. So we have 3 creatures on the board. We haven't pressured their life total that much, though. They're still at a pretty healthy 14 after damage here. I think... Okay, yeah. So they play Fable of the Mirror Breaker. That's kind of annoying. That blocks Squee well. We really need to hit some lands here. We can play Earthshaker Kenra either way, but we need to get to this Jaya pretty quickly. We can't afford to draw like a 6-drop here. Rule Turf. Okay, that was actually maybe the best draw in our deck, because we can play Earthshaker Kenra. We can't play the Zurgo this turn, but that doesn't really matter. Then we can play Rule Turf and bounce land back to our hand and set up for Jaya next turn. So we're going to get in a pretty nice hit here. Bounce a Mountain. And then we'll go to combat and bash. And now they can hit us with a goblin on the backswing and make a treasure, and they'll definitely be able to get their mana going a bit. But they're down to 7 now. So we're getting close to being able to kill them. Okay, they play a Pyromancer. That's fine. All right, they build up a nice board of blockers. Okay, I think we just play Jaya and plus here. Do we want to make any attacks? We don't really have any super profitable attacks, so I think we hold off for now and just play Jaya. We could swing with the Soulscar Mage. That would make them double. They could block with Pyromancer and an Elemental. I'm okay with trading Soulscar Mage with a Pyromancer. I think the answer is yes, because... Well, let's think about this. So the most aggressive line would be to minus the Chandra, or the Jaya, to kill off their Goblin Shaman. And then we could swing at them with all of our 2-power. Yeah, actually, let's be aggressive here. I think that's the right line when their life total is low. So we're gonna kill their Goblin Shaman, and we're gonna attack with everything. And then they can like kill off our Squee and eat some of our goblins, and like in terms of a material perspective, this is not great. But I think just pressuring their life total is worth it here. They're gonna get to kill our Jaya on the backswing. We're accepting that. But we're going to really mess up their board in the process. So they can put a 1/1 on Earthshaker Kenra. Zurgo can eat one of our goblins. And then Pyromancer can trade with Squee. And then maybe they put, like, I guess another... Yeah, so... Yeah, Pyromancer trades with Squee. That makes sense. Zurgo chump blocks a 1/1. Trade with Kenra. Chump block one of those. Take 3. So at the end of this, they get to keep Zurgo, and that's it. This seems fine for us. They're down to 4. Risk factor would be good here, so that's kind of funny. That would be a nice draw, but I still feel fine about this position. They kill our Jaya. That's no surprise. Then we'll see what their play is. They need to do something pretty solid here. We can also bring back Squee, almost. Jeez, this is some of the worst lag I've had, and this is round 1. Normally, lag only starts later. I just updated OBS, so hopefully the problem is not that that is taking way more computational power now. Okay, Unlicensed Hearse is... They should have just used that immediately. I don't know why they didn't. Now we get to play our... We don't have enough mana for Earthshaker Kenra, unfortunately, but we can bring back Squee. And we'll just exile the other 4 cards from our graveyard. And so now what's the plan? We could attack with both, or we could attack with everything. We'll have 4 attackers. They'll have 2 blockers. They can trade Squee with a Reflection of the key, of the whatever. Yeah, I think we do want to attack here with everything. Again, we're losing material, but that's fine. We're making them lose some material as well, probably, and then we're also getting their life total down, which is very relevant. And then we'll play post-combat Zergo. So they'll trade Reflection of the Kiki-Jiki with Squee, probably. And then they could eat one of our Goblin tokens and take 2, go down to 2. And they can exile our Squee with their Unlicensed Hearse if they want to, but that doesn't matter too much. And now with them down to 2, like, if we top deck any burn, we could kill them. I guess we don't have that much burn in our deck, though, that goes to the face, unfortunately. But still, you gotta like this position. We're at 2, they're at 17, and we can just play Siege Gang Commander next turn. Siege Gang Commander is a must-kill. Okay, they take out our Squee with the Unlicensed Hearse. That's fine. Our life total is still healthy, so we're going to get a few draw steps, almost definitely. They've discarded Oblivion Stone to the Seasoned Pyromancer. That's an interesting card for them to be playing. All right, they play a Pyromancer. Or a Swift Spear, rather. And then pass. So we don't have any attacks now. We can't push any damage at all, so let's just do our only reasonable play, which is to put Siege Gang Commander into play. I guess there's an argument to waiting 1 turn, because then we could activate the Siege Gang immediately. And this way they can kill it, but I think it's still worth it to play because it also just puts 4 creatures onto the battlefield. And so even if they kill the Siege Gang, they need to also be able to block at least 4 out of our 6 creatures. If I knew for a fact that my top card was a land, I would hold the Siege Gang, I think. But given that we don't know it, like, I don't want to just, like, pass without adding to the board and then top deck, like, a random spell that doesn't help much and then pass again. Like, that's just not really a holding pattern we want to be in. We want to pedal to the metal, push the gas while we can. Because with them having Unlicensed Hearse, I think there's a decent chance they'll win the long game. They also have a card in hand, and we don't. We have a lot of draws that just win. Zealous Conscripts would win. Oh, nice. All right, we do take it down. So despite a lot of lag, we managed to overcome the mirror match in round 1. I'll see you in round 2. All right. I restarted the client. Oh. Okay, I need to reset my commands again. We're on the draw here against Tall and Dirty. We'll keep this hand, though. It's a little bit... It's slow, but it has a mix of lands and spells, and it can grind well. So we'll see what we're up against. Hissing Quagmire, go. All right. Earthshaker Kenra, not bad to have a threat on turn 2. It's not the best threat for turn 2, but it still will get the pressure going a little bit. Playing against Sultai. Tarmogoyf. That is small now, but it will become big. Let's just get our dude down and start beating. And the next one, I think we're going to play Fable of the Mirror Breaker. We can discard Risk Factor without too much of a problem. And then we'll see what we want to discard for other card. Maybe Squee. Those are both cards that give us value from the yard. Okay, Tireless Tracker. That's a little scary. I don't mind drawing another land there. We'll definitely play the Fable, though, this turn. And hit for 2. Four mana Ravenous Chupacabra to kill the Goblin. That's bad. I mean, yeah, this is not looking good. We're probably going to lose this game. We'll see, though. Experimental Frenzy is interesting, but I don't think that's what we want now. Let's discard Squee and Risk Factor. So this Tarmogoyf is a 2/3. Let's play Reckless Impulse here and do some digging. All right, land, not great. Let's just Burst Lightning the Tireless Tracker and then pass. So we'll see what they have. They don't have any card draw going. So we can beat their board, but I feel like they're gonna have better grindy stuff than we will probably. But just cracking the clue is good news for us. We'll see if they attack. They do. Interesting. I think I will accept this trade. It's kind of close, but having Earthshaker Chimera in the graveyard is not bad. Take a hit, then we draw Jaya. Good draw. Yeah, I think we should play Jaya and plus here. Could also bring back Squee, but I think it's better to get the Jaya down. And then we have 2 chump blockers, so we can keep our... Hopefully we can untap with the Jaya. And this Tarmogoyf is still not that big. Still only 3/4. They have 6 mana. So we'll chump block here. And the next one we can kind of go off. We can play Seasoned Pyromancer and then make another Seasoned Pyromancer with Reflection of the Kiki. So let's play land. Play Seasoned Pyromancer. They need to kill our Reflection of the Kiki in response. They don't. I think I'm just going to put a bunch of dudes into play here. Chandra is an interesting draw. Let's make another 1/1. And then pass. Could play the Chandra, but I think I'd rather use the Reflection of the Kiki. We can also hold up Risk Factor. But I don't think that's really the game we're trying to play. It's weird that they haven't used any of their mana. This Shark Typhoon. Okay, that's not too bad. In response, let's make a copy of Seasoned Pyromancer while they're tapped out, and then we can just discard these 2 lands. Doesn't help us to make bodies, but it helps us to just move through our deck. Okay, that is some action. Zealous Conscript stealing one of their things could be a huge swing. The Shark is not that big. It's just a 4/4, so they can't kill our Jaya right now. We can chump block the Tarmogoyf forever. Our life total is... I mean, their life total is still very high, so we're not close to killing them right now, but we have a good board presence and a good hand, so I actually think we might be in a decent position here. We'll see what they can do this turn. Bloodchief's Thirst, not really a problem. I mean, I liked the Seasoned Pyromancer engine, but we don't need it. Then they hit our Jaya for 4, that's fine. We can plus Jaya this turn, digging for land, and then try and steal their Tarmogoyf. Good draw. Or sorry, minus this for digging for land. Yeah, I think I will do that. We'll see what we hit. I'm fine just getting a land. We get Young Pyromancer and Lava Dart. Interesting. Okay, let's take the Pyromancer. And we'll go land, Zealous Conscripts. And if this resolves, we basically just win. Alright, so we'll steal your Tarmogoyf. Is it actually lethal here? No, we're swinging for 14, but it's very close. I'm actually going to Mizzium Mortars this Shark here. It means we don't get to play our Pyromancer, but I think that's fine. Getting to kill the Shark this turn is a big swing, and it might mean we get to keep our Jaya around. Still not lethal, but we'll swing with everything. Make them have something. That puts them to 1, so... And they can't kill us here, even with a Time Walk. I guess if they have Time Walk into Green Source, they could maybe kill us. But this seems like a really good position. Next turn, we can Chandra to Flashback Burst Lightning for the win if they don't gain life or kill us. Alright, sweet. So we take down Sultai in game 1. Seems like it could be kind of tough matchup. They have beefy creatures plus removal, which is a good recipe against mono red, but we managed to take them down in game 1. They are giving us a lot of time, it looks like. I don't think we have any real consideration for changing anything. Like, really, our main sideboard plan is just whether or not we want to bring in a 17th land. And our curve is kind of high, but we're on the draw. Lava Dart seems kind of bad, though. We have some prowess stuff, but not that much. They are playing green, so they might have some elves. I think we're just going to run it like this, though. Deck's perfect. Reflection of the Kiki Jiki is pretty sweet with a lot of our deck, actually. So that game we won the die roll, but then accidentally chose to go second and still pulled it off, so that's kind of sweet. All right, this hand is not a keep. Oh, man. This hand is quite bad. I don't really want to go to 5. I think I'm going to risk it on the draw. The upside is really high. So if we draw a land in our first 2 draws and Ragavan's able to connect, we can play turn 2 Season Pyromancer. And then we can filter through our deck, fix our draw, we'll have a lot of pressure on the board, and just be overall in a great position. That requires several things to happen, of course. They could just kill our Ragavan, and then we brick on lands and lose, but good start. They don't have a 1-drop, and we draw the land. Now, hopefully they don't have a blocker or a kill spell. We did draw the land again. Nice. Does this connect? Sweet. Looks like it does. All right. Really good start. Power word kill, not too helpful. Let's play the Pyromancer and discard Squee and Zergo. Squee is not a bad play for next turn, but this puts more pressure on the board now, and yeah, I figured we're gonna draw some gas. We want to get the Squee in the graveyard. We can bring this back once we get 3 more cards. They play Nissa. That's quite slow. It does block Ragavan, though. Reckless Impulse. Interesting, but definitely playing Legion Warboss first. So we're going to attack with everything. If they want to eat one of our goblin, that's fine. But I think they're probably going to block the Ragavan and trade, and then we get to hit them for a solid 5, and we have a nice board. They could have Languish here. If they have Languish, we're going to lose. But unless they have a board sweeper, like spot removal doesn't line up well against this board. Tireless Tracker is really slow. Yeah, Tireless Tracker and a Golgari Rot Farm. They're not set up for this sort of game. This is looking like the sort of game where risk factor is incredible. Okay, Earthshaker Kenner does not work how we want to here. So let's start with Reckless Impulse, really hoping to hit a land. No land, but we do get Goblin Guide, so we can still get some pressure going. Very, very happy we did not discard a land to the Seasoned Pyromancer. So we'll grow one of our elementals, I guess. Never return on top. That is a removal spell. How much damage do they take here? They're down to 4. So risk factor is just a clean draw 3. Nice. It's a draw 3 with flashback. Pretty sweet. We are cruising and easy 2-0. Well, I guess not really easy. Some tight games in there, but we are 2-0. Headed to the finals. This deck seems sweet. It's more aggressive than I'd realized. We don't have that low of a curve. We only have, I guess we have 4 1-drop creatures, but we passed like a Figure of Destiny at one point. We might have passed a Monastery Swift Spear. Given where the deck ended up, I kind of wish we had just taken that and been more aggressive. I liked the idea of being big red, and we started in that direction kind of. We got I think a Planeswalker next, and then a Zealous Conscript. So we weren't really set up to be hyper aggro, but then we got late Zergo, that sort of thing, and here we are. I'm not mad about where we are. We are going into the finals undefeated. Squeeze has been really good so far. It's worth noting. I have not played with that card before, but I'm a fan. I wish this deck had more burn. That is a real weakness of it. Lightning Bolt, Incinerate, Abrade, things of that nature. We don't have that much removal for small creatures, but it's fine. We can just play our own creatures and win that way. I also really wish we got more of the red Planeswalkers. Koth of the Hammer at 4 is really good. Also, Chandra, Torch of Defiance is really strong. So we could have had 5, 3, and 4 mana red Planeswalkers. Ooh, a deck I want to draft Mardu Super Friends at some point. You get all these base of red Planeswalkers, but then you can also play Ob Nixilis and also Nahiri. And then maybe even Liliana of the Veil or something too. That would be a fun deck. Our opponents are very scared. They don't want to play against the turn 1 Ragavan. We have gotten lucky to have turn 1 Ragavan a disproportionately high number of times. All right, on the draw here against Rob Dog Douglas. Oof. This hand is really, it's not very proactive. It's a good mix of lands and spells, and it can grind. I think I'm going to risk it. This hand, if we don't, in some matchups, this is really bad. If Lava Dart's a good card, then this hand's great. And, play an Elf. Utopia Sprawl, come on. That's really, really bad. Okay, hopefully we can draw Ragavan. Playing against green-black once again. Well, this is what I was worried about. This might just be a ridiculously slow hand. Spara's Headquarters. Okay, lots of colors over there. In general, I think that's good for us, even though it's not good for us this game. That means they're going to be good at grinding with a lot of powerful gold cards. And so our, just hold off until turn 4 and then start casting spells is not going to work. But now that we know that what we're up against, we can mulligan towards aggressive hands and hopefully win games 2 and 3. They now officially have all 5 colors. Man, couldn't even draw 3-drop in that time. Very few of our cards in our deck. We have a lot of threats. But here we are, having played nothing until turn 4. Golos. Okay, I'm just going to kill that with Lava Dart and Mizzy Mortars. Doesn't feel great, but I don't think letting them untap with that is going to win us this game. Pyro, solid draw, but again, I think we still need to take this Golos off the board. Okay, we'll see what the rest of their payoffs are. I mean, again, our hand is good against some things. Tatiova. Okay, that's decent. It's not that backbreaking, but because Inferno Titan can kill it, but it does get them some nice value. Okay, so we'll just play Jaya plus play Goblin Guide. Could play Siege Gang Commander, but that actually is pretty bad against this board. We can't attack that profitably. We're not going to be sinking our mana into using the Siege Gang. I'd rather get down the card that can snowball more quickly. Also, this can draw us a card next turn. I think it's moderately likely we get to untap with Jaya, in which case we can, we're pretty likely to be able to hit another land and cast Inferno Titan next turn. This is the kind of game they want to be playing, though. They're like drawing cards, gaining life. They have tons of mana of all 5 colors. Clothis, okay, that's more life gain. It's not that good. It doesn't impact the board. This, okay, that's gonna... They can't flip it this turn, but they can flip it next turn if we don't kill it now. So we're gonna try and kill that ASAP. If we draw land, we can actually kill both of their threats. That would be sweet. If they don't have any interaction and we draw land, actually we're in a pretty good spot, I think. Because we can play Inferno Titan and minus the Jaya to kill both of their creatures. Reckless Impulse, not what we were looking for. So let's minus this, looking for land. Okay. I think we attack with both here. I'm just scooping to a counterspell, so I'm gonna assume they don't have that. And then if they block, they'll probably make some blocks. And any blocks that they make will let us kill both of their things. Consecrated Sphinx on top, okay. They know about the Lava Dart. Okay, they just take it all. That's fine. Then we need to decide which to kill. I think it's better to kill the Nissa. So if they target the Lava Dart, I think I'm just going to Lava Dart their face. Kind of close. They do target the Lava Dart. Yeah, I'll do this. It hits them for 3, and it's a 5-point life swing. It does put us down a land, but I think that's fine. They have Consecrated Sphinx in their hand, but we don't care that much about the Sphinx. Can they kill the Inferno Titan? If they kill the Titan, it's going to be tough. But if we get to untap with Inferno Titan, I like our chances, actually. Hopefully they just cast a Sphinx here. They could easily have just a bunch of lands in hand. I'm sure they're playing a high land count in their deck. Okay, they do just pass. That's pretty excellent. They get to draw cards, but that's fine. How do we want to do this? I think we're just plussing Jaya here. Okay, so I'm going to start with land. We'll go to combat. All right, kill this. And then they probably just take 6. I'll pump it once and then play Siege Gang Commander. Okay, I don't know what they're holding. They have 6 cards in hand. They must have a counterspell for this Siege Gang. Let's make another 1/1 so that it's out of range of the Consecrated Sphinx. Then we'll play the Siege Gang and pass. And see what they can do. They must have something here to do at the end of our turn. I mean, if they literally have no plays, I have no idea what could be in their deck. They have all the mana they could ever need, all the card draw they could ever need. And yet they're not really doing that much, other than just like drawing more cards. So they can cloth this to take out our Mizzium Mortars, go back up to 13. We can definitely kill them if they don't do something pretty significant to our board this turn, though. So play Forest. What you got? You got to do something here. We know none of the cards in their hand. Hex Drinker is not that scary. They can, I mean, if they level it up all the way, sure, it's 6/6 with protection from everything. That is kind of scary, but it doesn't impact our board. We still get to swing with our Inferno Titan. They could block our Inferno Titan with their Hex Drinker, I guess, and kill it. But if in that world where we're getting to attack with everything else, we can minus Jaya to kill their Consecrated Sphinx. That seems fine. And if they don't sink a bunch of mana into Hex Drinker, it's terrible. Like they need to put 8 mana into it, or else we can easily kill it with Jaya. How much mana do they have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if they were to put 8 mana into the Hex Drinker, they can't really do anything else that impactful. This looks like it's a spell. Turn Timber Symbiosis. All right, well, we'll see what they hit. High variance play here. And this is probably the last relevant spell they can cast this game, or this turn. Man, if we were able to actually pull this off, despite literally, our first play was a turn 4 Jaya. Or no, turn 4, double burn spell their card that already drew them a card. Okay, they hit Coma. So at the beginning of each upkeep, they can create a 3/3, and then they can tap our... Okay, that's really good, because that can tap our Inferno Titan. We do have Siege Gang Commander. We can throw a lot of goblins at their face. Okay, a lot of options here. How do we want to proceed? We could have 6 points of burn with Siege Gang Commander. I do want to hit another land drop. We could plus or minus Jaya for mana. I think it's probably better to minus Jaya to kill one of their things, though. They probably need to sack their Serpent to tap our Inferno Titan. Okay, let's minus the Jaya on their Coma. This way, if they want to sack their Coma's Coil to tap our Inferno Titan, we get to kill their Coma. Okay, in response, they give it indestructible. Sure. Now let's think about our various options. We're going to get to attack with Inferno Titan. We can burn them for 9, but that's not quite enough to kill them. Do we want to swing with everything? If we swing with everything, do we die on the backswing? We can animate Mutavault. Swing. They have 4 blockers, so they block Inferno Titan, and then 3 2/2s. Take 5. No, sorry. We use Inferno Titan to kill their Hex Drinker. So they have 3 blockers. Then they block Coma on Inferno Titan. And then block Siege Gang with Consecrated Sphinx and Mutavault or whatever with Reality Chip. Then we would hit them for some damage, but not enough probably. We could Reckless Impulse into something. I think I am going to play Reckless Impulse here. Oh, I forgot about these prowess triggers. That could be relevant. It'd be awesome if we hit some burn of some sort. That was really not what we were looking for. Man, that's rough that we bricked so hard there. This is going to spiral out of control really quickly. They're going to gain 2 life on their turn, make 2 Serpents by our next turn. I don't think that's the sort of game we can win. So I think we need to push damage now. Okay, let's just swing with everything. Oops, sorry. Yeah, I don't think passing is a path to victory here. So with Inferno Titan, we're going to go... So we can kill their Consecrated Sphinx with Siege Gang Commander. Leave them with just Coma. Okay, yeah, let's go 2 here, 1 here. So we reveal the top card, which is another Forest. Then I'm going to sack 2 Goblins to kill the Consecrated Sphinx. And they almost definitely have to block the Inferno Titan. Which means they're not going to be able to block our Siege Gang. I think we're going to lose this game, but I think this gives us a chance of victory. So we hit them for 7. They go to 6. Inferno Titan dies, unfortunately. We also have no chump blockers, so they can kill our Jaya on the backswing. Play the Gruul Turf to bounce our mountain. And pass. And we do have, we still have Siege Gang, so we can sack some goblins to burn them out, potentially. We have 3 goblins counting the Mutavault, so we have exactly enough burn right now to kill them. They are going to gain 2 life, presumably. And they definitely cannot kill us. Yeah, they can't kill us. Wild game 1 here. We should be somewhat conscious of time. If they swing their Coma at Jaya, then that's fewer blockers. I think we can beat the board pretty easily. The question is just how much more can they add to it. Prismari Command to loot and deal 2 damage to... Okay, killing Siege Again Commander is bad for us. That's definitely bad. We can't burn them out now. We need to win via combat damage. We could draw Zealous Conscripts. We don't have Banefire, unfortunately. Titan of Industry. Okay, that is probably going to win. I don't exactly know what this does, but they can gain a ton of life. They can create 2 4/4s. Or, there's no way we could win. They're probably just going to gain 5 life and make a 4/4, and then... Yeah, now they're out of burn range, and they also have such a wide board that we can't really go around them. Oh, they even animate their Clothis. I don't think there's any draws we could have. Maybe Zealous Conscripts could do it. But it would require Zealous Conscripts. They hit us with a Coma, okay. So we fall to 10. They make another 3/3. Yeah, I don't think even Zealous Conscripts would do it. So we'll play the Pyro. Oh man, the lag is returning. Risk factor. Kind of interesting. Let's cast the risk factor. Go to 9. All right, I'm just gonna... Well, again, it actually is not fully impossible. Like, we could Alpha Strike and hope they just click through blocks, but I actually think there's a feasible world where we could win this game still if we draw Zealous Conscripts and they misplay. We do need them to misplay. But let's pass here. Man, that Turn Timber... The key turn was when they hit the Coma off the Turn Timber Symbiosis. And that was the fact that could then profitably block our Inferno Titan was quite bad for us. So they exile the risk factor, right? I forgot about that, but fair enough. And then if they just swing with everything, I can't win. We need them to play unnecessarily conservatively. Harmonize. Wow, they have a ton of card draw. Okay, so we need to be fast. We definitely need to be fast. I'm going to mulligan any hand that doesn't have quick creatures. They have almost no removal. They have, I guess, Prismari Command. But turn 1 Ragavan seems really good against them. I guess they could block it with some things. Wow, Nissa too. Their deck is sweet. I mean, I'm not surprised that they're 2-0. They're a noble enemy for the finals. Primeval Titan. All right. Their deck is really sweet. So blue-green, mid-range, splashing for Golos, essentially. They also have Tarmogoyf, currently 6/7. I mean, there's no way Zealous Conscripts wins here, right? Yeah, all right. You got me. Okay, so blue-green, they have a lot of card draw, a lot of value. Their hand was kind of bad. Yeah, we're not going to win a long game against this deck. But they don't have that much removal, and their life gain all comes on pretty expensive things. So let's cut Lava Dart. That seems kind of bad. Add another land. I don't want to have a mulligan hands that don't have lands. Like, we want to be able to curve out. But then we'll run like this. And then maybe on the draw, I'll bring Lava Dart back in just to help. Like, that can help in some combats, but yeah, I think this is a good way to run it. Turn 1 Ragavan, turn 2 Fable of the Mirror Breaker. That's what I want. Okay. This hand's a little bit awkward. The Gruul Turf is annoying. It might mean we can't curve out as well as we want to, but I will keep it. So Mountain Zergo, and that'll get in some early beats for sure. I would love it if they played a Hexdrinker here, actually, and then we could get to use our mana on turn 2. Okay. I'm not going to fire off Burst Lightning on their face here. Let's just get the turf down, bounce our land, and hit them for 2. And then next turn, we can probably play Squee. Another tap line. This is why this matchup is, in theory, good. Like, they just take a while to set up, and if we're able to develop our board and hit them for meaningful damage while they're just getting set up, then we can potentially win before they get to that really powerful late game that we just saw in full display. So we'll play Squee. Hits for, we get to hit them for 5, which is not bad. And then next turn we can play Jaya. And Jaya will be pretty sweet. We can stack the trigger so that we get to hit a creature for 4 if they play 1 here. And we didn't see any like Pyroclasm type effects from them. So I'm not too worried about just flopping my whole hand onto the battlefield. Tapped, Stomping Ground. Wow, this is a slow draw. I mean, I guess we also did nothing for the first 3 turns in game 1, so they might have thought they had time, but this is more like it. This is the way that we win this match. Land. We'll go to combat, and then go for the post-combat Jaya. This is looking so different from last game. They're already... I mean, if they just take all 6 here, I don't really see a way that they can win. We have such a good board. We're about to have a Planeswalker down. And our hand is even good. Like, we have 4 points of burn, 2 haste creatures that are hard to block well, and some card draw. All right. Good luck coming back from this one, opponent. If this was Vintage Cube, I'd be a little afraid because you just never know. They could, like, I don't know, Land, Lotus, Titan of Industry, I don't know, something crazy. But in Modern Cube, I don't really think that there's any way they could get back from this. I mean, if they had, like, Languish in the sideboard and then they go, like, Swamp Languish, we're still in pretty good shape, but they might be able to claw their way back into it. They just pass. Okay. All right, let's minus this in case we get something that changes things. But then presumably just swing with everything, and then we can Burst Lightning their face for 4. Well, that's bad. Take the Mizium Mortars. Land, and then go swing. And we have lethal on board, so they need to have something. They don't have mana for Cryptic Command or anything like that. They could play Prismari Command, but that doesn't do anything. We don't have any artifacts. All right, get in there. This attack should be enough. I mean, again, we have 4 damage of burn at instant speed. Prismari Command targeting Squee. That's fine. They should have done that before combat so that we didn't get the 1/1, but this is fine. I'll just burn them now. Like, theoretically, they could have a counterspell. And this way, so damage is lethal. Because of the prowess trigger, this means that we have 7 points of damage attacking. So even if they were to counter this, then they would die to our swing. So pretty easy turn 5 kill there. They did essentially nothing. I don't think game 3 will be that easy. But we'll see. We're on the draw now. Do we want to make any changes? It's still not going to bring in a color, so we could bring in one of these accelerants, theoretically. That just seems kind of bad, though. Although, like, some of these other cards are bad, too. It's not a great matchup for Mizium Mortars. Could got Experimental Frenzy on the draw. No, we'll just run it back. I don't think Lavadar's that good. I don't think the ramp spells are that good. And I don't think we need an 18th land. We could go down 16 lands and play the Lava Dart on the draw, but we have a pretty high curve, especially like with Experimental Frenzy and stuff, so I think this is fine. Game 3, match 3 for the trophy. It'd be pretty sweet to start the league with the trophy. Or start the season, I guess. I don't know yet if I'm going to be playing a lot of this or not. I've enjoyed it so far. I'm not going to be doing like as much as Vintage Cube, certainly. But I could imagine doing like semi-regular videos and maybe being on the leaderboard, albeit probably not first. All right. We're basically going to mulligan any hand that doesn't have one of our 5 1-drop creatures. We need to have a draw like that game. We're not going to be outgrinding them with Inferno Titan. So there's hands that I would keep without a 1-drop, but I'm definitely not going to keep a hand that has no 1 or 2 drops, regardless of how good it is. Like, maybe, like, Mutavault, 2 lands, Fable. No, that's just still just too bad. Yeah, I think we're snap mulliganing any hand that doesn't have a play in the first 2 turns. We took Figure of Destiny over something. I forget what, or we took something over Figure of Destiny. I don't remember exactly what it was, but this is a matchup where I regret that. I would trade any of my expensive cards. Like, this is just a balls to the wall matchup. So I would definitely trade any of these for another cheap threat. Okay, good hand. Very aggressive, which is what we want, of course. We need to decide between Soulscar Mage and Goblin Guide on turn 1. They have the Hex Drinker this game. Oh, no, Abundant Harvest. That's fine. So we'll see. If they name land, I'm going to play... Okay, they did name land. So they're light on land, so I'm actually not going to play God on one. Like, if I would attack with the Goblin Guide if I didn't have another play. But here, I think I'll just, like, play the Soulscar Mage first and then play and swing with Goblin Guide next turn. We're missing out on essentially 1 point of damage. Because this way, like, before Goblin Guide would have hit for 4 by turn 2. This way, Goblin Guide hits for 2 on turn 2, and Soulscar hits for 1 on turn 2. So we're missing out on 1 point of damage. We're also just establishing a threat that can attack. This is like a better threat to have in play, because this we can attack with the turn we play it. Ooh. Okay, that's annoying. That shuts down our attack pretty well. We draw Squee, okay. I mean, yeah, I don't love giving them the land here, but we need to press damage. So I am going to play this and hit for 1. Next turn we have Squee. Outland Liberator on top, okay. Outland Liberator can block Squee. I think that's fine, though. They are curving out much better this game, of course. Like, they have cheap blockers, which is exactly what they want in this matchup. If we play Squee and attack with everything, they'll probably trade Squee and the out... I mean, they could just block Soulscar Mage if they wanted to. But then we get to keep Squee. I think that's fine if they do that. We'll see what we draw. But if I don't draw anything that changes things, then I will... I'll just go for that. Earthshaker Kenra. That's interesting. I think Squee is still better, though. It's also more mana efficient. I guess then the question is, do we want to swing with a Soulscar Mage? Like, we could swing with just Squee and Goblin Guide. But no, I think I'm just going to keep the pressure going, swing it with everything, give them... Well, What happens if we just swing with Squee? They probably trade it with the Outland Liberator, block the 1/1 with the Reality Chip. No, I'm going to swing with everything. If they want to kill our Soulscar Mage, so be it. Hopefully we don't give them a land, but if we do, it's not the end of the world. Vorinclex on top. I think that costs 6, yeah. Okay, so they do block this way. We hit them for 3, and we get to keep Squee around. We're losing our Soulscar Mage, but that's fine. Next turn, we have Earthshaker Kenra to stop one of their creatures from blocking. Oh, they're just equipping there. That's great news for us. That's just a bad play. I mean, maybe they don't have lands. Oh my gosh, they don't have lands. They just pass. Okay, so now we can also... We don't even need to worry about the Goblin God trigger. This is amazing. So the most aggressive thing we could do is animate Mutavault, play Earthshaker Kenra, and attack with everything. And I think that is just the line. Oh no, this became 3. That sucks. Okay, in that case, we want to flip that back. So I'm going to play Reckless Impulse. And then Earthshaker Kenra probably. But we'll see what we hit. Best case scenario, we hit Mizium Mortars. And we can kill their dude. Okay, if we play land and play Earthshaker Kenra, the trigger doesn't do anything. Attack with everything. They block with Squee, or they block the Squee, and they take 6. I think that's worth it. We always want to pressure their life total, but we want to even more now that when we have risk factor in hand. So we're literally 100% sure they don't have a land on top, but I'll be curious to see what it is. Tatiova. Okay, not even a 4-drop. That's good for us. So they block the Squee, take 6 down to 10, and then this is a key draw. We know they're drawing the Tatiova, but they get to play a card off the top with a Reality Chip thing. So if they have a land underneath this, then they get to play it. Utopia Sprawl. That's really good for them. Because they can still play land off the top now. Yeah, that could swing this. Now they have red mana. What is this? Clothis. Okay, Clothis is slow. But it does gain them life. So now they presumably pass. We can play Legion Warboss and animate Mutavault and attack. What do we draw? Experimental Frenzy. Interesting. Not playing that this turn, but that's not a bad draw. So let's play land, play our Warboss. Then we can animate Mutavault and attack with everything. If they want to keep their thing around, they're taking a ton of damage. I don't know if they can afford to do that. Yeah, I mean, we're definitely just swinging with everything. All right. Get in there, creatures. Do your thing. So if they block a 1/1, then they go to 2. So they probably can't afford to do that. But if they block a 2/2, they're still going to 3. And then they also lose their dude that has the reality chip on it. Golos on top. All right. Okay, so they do decide to keep their thing around. So risk factor is now just a clean 3 mana draw 3. Because they're going to 2. And then they're going to go up to 4 with Clothis, but that's not enough. So they get to exile our Squee. That's sad, but not the end of the world. We still have a huge board presence. We did get a little bit lucky that they have not hit land drops. I'm not sure how many lands they're playing. They should be playing at least 18, probably more in a deck like this. Okay, Prismari command to loot and kill our Warboss. That's fine. They are probably going to get to hit a land drop now, but if they, that doesn't really matter. They need to add something relevant to the board this turn. Right now on board, they're still dead just to our board. They discard a mountain. Wow, they wanted land so bad, and now they don't want them. They play a tapped land. So they're just dead on board, unless they have something weird. I don't think that there's anything that they could have here, realistically, but I'm still going to play risk factor before. Okay, they just concede. Sweet. All right, nice. Got the trophy in the first league. Let's pull up the deck list. All right, this was our mono red deck, and it was very good. We got the trophy, so the results were there. I think it was a really strong deck. We had a decent curve with a lot of good 1-drops, 5 good 1-drops, and some of them scaled well into the late game. Having Ragavan was obviously amazing, and Ragavan was consistently good this game. I don't think we cast anything we hit off of him, but just being a 1-mana, 2-power creature that gave us mana was sweet. Squee performed very well. Seasoned Pyromancer was good, as expected. We never really did risk factor things, but I think it would have been good. Fable of the Mirror Breaker was good. We got to copy Seasoned Pyromancer with Fable at one point, which was good. Jaya was solid. I feel like we played it a lot, and it was always good. It was kind of expensive, and the fact that it doesn't deal damage is not great in aggressive decks. I think it's a great mid-range card, and okay here. Koth would probably have been better in this league, but Jaya's fine. Zealous Conscripts was really good in one of our early games, stealing a Tarmogoyf. Inferno Titan Siege Gang were good. We never did Experimental Frenzy things. I don't know if that means that it was not good in the deck, or it just didn't come up. But yeah, I mean, a good league. I think this deck could have used a little bit of a lower curve, and it could have used a little bit more burn. But all the cards were individually very strong, and we got the trophy. So yeah, pretty sweet introduction to Modern Cube. I'm planning on recording some videos of this, so let me know if you really like this type of content. I mean, granted, this was a mono red deck. Some people might not love that style, but if you like Modern Cube in general, let me know in the comments for sure, and I can do a lot of these. I'll do some either way. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.